Hi, this is John Farrell with the Farrell Law Firm in Marietta, Georgia, and author of Estate Planning for the Modern Family. Estate Planning for the Modern Family is a step-by-step guide to protecting your estate for your loved ones, answers important estate planning questions for you and your family, and much more. Now, today I want to talk to you about the types of estate planning you can do regarding your digital assets. And now I've previously spoken about what digital assets are, and you'll find that information, or as a matter of fact, I'll put a link in the description below so that you can access that video on what types of digital assets that are out there. But today I want to talk to you about what you can do with your digital assets when it comes to estate planning. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is that there are certain internet service providers that have policies on what happens to deceased users. Now, these aren't always prominently displayed, but you might have to go looking for them. But it allows a user to set up a period of time when a person passes away, after which the account becomes inactive. Or let's say they set up a specific amount of time where if it's not accessed or it becomes inactive, that the people will notify, the internet service providers will notify individuals that it's becoming inactive. So you can create something maybe called a legacy contact, other things like that. But in other words, sometimes the internet service providers themselves have instructions on how to manage the digital assets that are located on their sites, once someone passes away. Now, the second thing that you can do is that you may transfer or at least back up that information to something that is tangible. For example, if you happen to have photos or music, you can download those to a CD or a DVD or a portable hard drive or a flash drive or something of that nature. You can then store those materials in a safe place, like a safe in your basement or a safety deposit box, and that will help with saving these digital assets for generations to come once you pass away. But you might have years of family photos and vacation photos, and so the technique may be a little bit difficult to keep up with over time, but it's really often a great idea to back up certain things that you have on just tangible media drives. Finally, you prepare a inventory of your digital estate. Just think about all of the different types of things that you might have. Create a list of these things. And again, if you go to the link in the description, you'll find the types of information that assets that might be out there that you would consider, digital assets. Start creating a list of these things so that your family knows at least the things that you might have. You'll keep that with your will and powers of attorneys and trust and things of that nature. So another thing is keep this, what I would perhaps call an inventory document, in a safe place so that it can be given to a family member or friend, once you were to pass away. So keeping that information together. You might not necessarily want to give that away before you pass away, because you'll probably have passwords and usernames and things of that nature on it. So it might be something you keep with your will so that your family can access it, once you pass away. Another thing that you could do, which probably isn't so great, is providing immediate access to digital assets. And where this might come in handy is something where you keep photos, not necessarily assets that have a monetary value, but sentimental value, such as photographs or videos. You might be able to go ahead and give family access to those photos or videos. You want to check with the provider to make sure that that is something that they allow, but that is certainly an option. Another is that allow an agent to access digital assets, and this is where you'll find the power of attorney comes in very handy. The power of attorney these days often will have a section that will allow you to have an agent access those assets. So that is another way that you can account for those digital assets as well. Of course, it's practically there only while you're alive, so it doesn't really cover, once you pass away, because once you pass away, the power of attorney really doesn't have any power. Finally, you can place digital assets in a trust. That is something that is very popular these days. You might even be able to create a separate trust for just the digital assets. Might be overkill, but might be something that you can do, especially if you have digital assets with substantial value, such as Bitcoin or other types of uh, gaming assets that you might be able to sell. Um, so putting those assets in a trust will allow someone to get quicker access to those assets, once you pass away. Trusts are just very popular these days. Of course, you could put those types of things in a will. Not recommended at all because typically wills all become part of the public record, and you wouldn't want to put security codes and passwords somewhere that people would be able to access it. Additionally, it's much more difficult to amend a will than it is a trust. So the way that digital assets are changing these days, it might make sense to have a trust instead of a will for that purpose. All right, so again, I wanted to just talk to you a few minutes about the things that you could do to estate plan for your digital assets. If you have any questions, my number and my email address is attached to the video. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to answer your estate planning questions. And who knows, we might see your estate planning question in a video that I'll release in the following weeks. All right, thanks.